Such an important question. So we're at $33 trillion, a number that nobody ever thought possible. When we had our economy rocking and rolling just prior to COVID coming in, like literally, we were making a fortune. And oil, we were going to make so much money from oil, we were going to start paying off debt. But then with COVID coming in, we had to do other things. We had to keep this country alive because it was so serious. But we have to get the country back. We have to lower energy prices. We have to lower interest rates. Interest rates are through the roof. Energy has to come down. It all has to come down, and we have to start paying off debt. But when we have a debt limit, and they use that very seriously to me. They came in, Schumer came in with Nancy Pelosi, and they were using it. We'll violate it, we'll do whatever. They talked a whole lot different than they do right now. I say to the Republicans out there, congressmen, senators, if they don't give you massive cuts, you're going to have to do a default. And I don't believe they're going to do a default because I think the Democrats will absolutely cave because you don't want to have that happen. But it's better than what we're doing right now, because we're spending money like drunken sailors.
So just to be clear, Mr. President, you think the U.S. should default if the White House does not agree to the spending cuts Republicans are demanding?
Well, you might as well do it now because you'll do it later, because we have to save this country. Our country is dying. Our country is being destroyed by stupid people, by very stupid people.
You once said that using the debt ceiling as a negotiating wedge just could not happen. You said that when you were in the Oval Office.
That's when I was president.
So why is it different now that you're out of office?
Because now I'm not president.
The U.S. defaulting would be massively consequential for everyone in this room, for all Americans.
You don't know. It's psychological. It's really psychological more than anything else. And it could be very bad. It could be maybe nothing. Maybe you have a bad week or a bad day. But look, you have to cut your costs. We're spending $7 trillion on, much of it on nonsense. $7 trillion on nonsense.
We've got another question from a voter tonight.
Get all of that money that was wasted, and frankly, the Senate should have never approved it. Get all that money that was wasted, and if they don't get rid of that, you'll have to default. Okay?
Mr. President, we've got another voter here tonight.
And by the way, you're going to default eventually anyway, but it's going to be much messier. I don't think you'll have to default. I think if the Republicans hold strong and they say we want let's say we want $5 trillion off, I really think the Democrats have no choice but to do it. And if I win, they're going to be doing the same thing to me in 2 years. I guarantee you that.
When they went to the Capitol and they were breaking into the Capitol, smashing windows, injuring police officers, why did it take you 3 hours to tell them to go home?
I don't believe it did. Oh, let me pull it out. I have to pull it out. So if you look at, on January 5th, the day before, I said, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Stay peaceful. This was the day before, and this was in the form of Twitter. Now I use Truth Social. I think it's far superior, okay? I hope everybody's on Truth. If you look January 6th, this is before 2:30. I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. This is right after, as it was happening. But what happened is they took it down. I don't know why. I think they took it down because it was so good. They didn't like it being up there. I am asking, and we didn't know until I got it back, because now I have 90 million people waiting for me to go back, but I'm on Truth, and I'm staying on Truth. Listen, I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violation. We want no violation. We want no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. That was at 2:30. That was very early.
Mr. President, I looked at the same time.
Welcome to Key Stock and Crypto channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we see Trump back on the stage in a big way. We know Trump helped kick off the fourth industrial revolution. Remember, the C word, all the money spending started with Trump. And don't forget about it. Remember, the bird needs both wings to fly. Yes, they always work in opposition, Democrat versus Republican, but when it comes to the agenda, they work together in order to move forward. And remember, the fourth industrial revolution is the go. And that's the reason why we're seeing a lot of these big corporations closing shop or laying off. because they're getting ready for the AI takeover. And speaking of the AI takeover, we have Goldman Sachs create an AI-powered social media startup for corporate use. And we have U.S. aims to turn middle America cities into new network hubs with a $500 million investment. And guys, in the mainstream media, that's all we're seeing push is AI, the AI takeover. But guys, getting over into stocks, we have stocks slightly pulling back. And we know once this debt ceiling drama comes to an end, that's when the stock market is going to take a beating. So the third and fourth quarter, guys, we're definitely going to be on a roller coaster ride. And then on top of it, guys, we know when it comes to interest rates, it takes about a year for it to affect markets. And now we're seeing that, and it's only going to get worse. And getting over into a few stocks and sectors that are going to benefit from the fourth industrial revolution. I'm not your financial advisor, not financial advice. Please do your own research. And we know the climate agenda is being pushed. And one of those stocks that are benefiting is First Solar, and it's definitely making acquisitions. And we know any sector, it has to be a consolidation in there before it takes off. We know there's only like 3 or 4 companies that control each industry. And the next sector is the military. And guys, we know we hear those drums are beating. And we have Raytheon Technologies, Northrop Grumman, Huntington Eagle, Lockheed Martin, just to name a few. And we know Palantir is definitely going to benefit because mostly their business is based on government contracts. Now, guys, a lot of you asked me about the plant and when it's going to take off. I'm calling it the plant to make sure the video doesn't get flagged. But guys, remember, you're going to have consolidation in the space. And then on top of it, this is a Republican agenda, guys. The same way you look at the climate agenda, who's behind it? The Democrats. So you have to know this is a game, guys, in order to play. But getting over into the actual indicators, guys, we had yield rates are still low. Yes, they're rising slightly, but they're still low. We have the dollar, which is stronger. Of course, that's hitting the market. And then we have the VIX, which has been quiet. But the VIX, we're going to start see move up because we know things are about to get wild going towards the end of the year. Now, guys, that's all I have for you. Don't forget to go to the main channel, Crypto Teacher. It's so important. So therefore, you can learn the new economy. And then also see that things are planned out 10, 20, 30 years ago. So therefore, you can better position yourself because a lot of people are going to get left behind. And you don't want to be on the wrong side of history. But guys, you have a wonderful day.
You've heard people say it. AI is going to disrupt everything. Entire industries are going to change forever. And in the crosshairs, and maybe the first one to experience all this, is actually advertising. Deirdre Bosa has details now on what Amazon is doing here. Hi, Deirdre.
It may be one of the first, but certainly not the last. That so-called AI roadkill list is growing by the day, it feels like. Last week, it was Chegg and Egg Tech. This week, it's advertising. And we still have Google I.O. in a few days where generative AI is going to be front and center. And that could give us a few more names. So here's where we stand. After bestowing AI halos on companies and business models that would benefit from generative AI over the last few months, investors are now increasingly trying to price in the downside stock impact of the boom. They're looking for companies that could be left behind. Today, Goldman writes in a note, the market is now entering the, quote, prove you won't be disrupted stage. So ad agencies, they are on deck. The information reporting that Amazon is working on AI tools to generate photos and videos that could help it push more ad formats to smaller sellers, disintermediating agencies like Omnicom Group, WPP, Publicis. Following that report, Bernstein writes today, how high on the AI roadkill list should those ad agencies be? It's brutal, but similar lists, they're being compiled at other Wall Street firms. Meanwhile, guys, Jeffrey Hinton, known as the godfather of AI, he's raising alarm bells again, saying that AI could be a bigger threat to humanity than even climate change. Rhetoric we've heard before, guys, from lots of important people with a lot of knowledge in this space.
Yeah, with a lot of knowledge in the space, Deirdre, and I think, we joke about how there's all these really big, exciting, ideas about AI, and then it turns out it just helps people file more legal claims and do better advertising. It just doesn't seem so sinister when it's performing, those essential functions for society.
Unless you think that those functions are going to end up creating a lot of unemployment and rendering certain business models completely defunct. So there is both these sides, and this is understandable. And, you know, some of the people who raise the fears will argue on the other side that at least they're being raised now, where other technologies have only been worried about when it was too late. So that may still be the case here. But again, it's such a new gigantic platform shift that there's going to be all different sides of it. And you're really seeing the business model, the investing side come out with these roadkill or short lists, the businesses that are going to be hurt or rendered defunct by AI.
And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Crypto Teacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, BitChute, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate. Not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.